Well, it never takes long till they leave her, stinging from the loneliest touch. Will she ever break free or just surrender again, you know?
Hello my friend, Amner Hunter here from amnerhunter.com. Happy to spend some time with you in another video. This time around, let's check out the brand new plugin by the company Kiive Audio. This is the Nfuse. It's a two plugin in one emulation of the legendary and very popular SSL Fusion on top, and here below is the Neve master bus transformer. This plugin, it's emulating both of these consoles and channel strips. It does it in a very nice workflow, in my humble opinion. In this video, I want to talk a bit more about the features, controls, and of course use these couple of processors in different elements in a mix with before and after tests. Kiive Audio has an introductory price of this plugin, and there is also a fully featured free trial. The link is gonna be provided in the video description and first comment. And full disclosure, the company Kiive Audio contacted me and approached me to create this video review for you guys. So this is a sponsored video by Kiive Audio, but all of the thoughts and opinions remain objectively mine. The members of this company are watching the video at the same time as you do. Before we begin with the content, let me invite you quickly to my website, amnerhunter.com, where you can grab some additional freebies, such as some free PDF guides and ebooks for music producers and guitar players, and also some free tools such as some collections of guitar impulses, some collections of drum sample packs, among other utilities. And finally, don't forget to check out this channel or my blog, which I am updating almost daily with tons of content like this. The links are gonna be in the video description and the first comment as well. I like to try most of these plugins on drums because I think on drums you can notice easily the different processors like saturators, EQ, compression, stuff like that. So I'm gonna walk you through the features and controls while playing some audio. This is the main window of the plugin, but of course you have a switch on each one of the individual elements of the plugin and sections to switch between the two processors, right? The SSL Fusion or the Neve mastering bus transformer. This is the Neve, and if you switch here on the left, you have the main control to switch everything to the other console, right? So here, for instance, we have all of the knobs and features of the SSL Fusion, and the other way around we have everything from the Neve console, right? It's pretty cool, pretty convenient. Two channel strips in one. Includes saturation, includes equalization, compression, and finally stereo imager. Pretty much 80% of what you might need to mix and master a song fully. Here at the left, we have the input, right? You can play also with the input here to introduce maybe more signal to the plugin, to have some sort of saturation and stuff like that. So also we have a high pass filter, very useful to remove some low end rumble, right, on most elements in a mix, right? So you're basically just removing lows in the form of a high pass filter. Also, we have a saturation control here. Dark, it will saturate low frequencies, and red will saturate higher frequencies. Also, you have a control here for extra drive. So let's test these controls. Okay. And the high end. The Neve master bus transformer is much more subtle than the SSL Fusion. We're gonna hear that in a moment. Let's engage the extra drive. Let's switch between the Neve and SSL Fusion. Right? Much more coloration and saturation. And it's great for both uses, right? Sometimes you want subtle saturation, coloration. Sometimes you want more prominent, more aggressive saturation. Nice. Let's check out the equalizer here on these drums. We have a couple of bands here. We have on the lows, right, from 30 to 240 hertz. On the highs from 3000 hertz, higher mids to 24. Here is the gain control, right? So you cut or boost, the same with the high frequency gain. Switching between the Neve and SSL Fusion, we have controls for lows and highs. Here, instead of 30 to 240, we have 30 to 90, okay? Let's increase some 80 hertz, for instance. Also more subtle than the SSL Fusion. Boost some highs as well, around 8K. Off. Okay, and let's also boost here 80 hertz, also around 8K. Yeah, much more intense. Okay. Off. On. Off. On. Let's move on with compression now. Here on compression, we have the threshold control, right? The more you reduce this, of course, the more compression you get. You have a release time here, fast or slow release time in milliseconds. You have a blend control, also a mix from 0 to 100%, okay? You can also add a high ratio with this control. By default is like 4:1 ratio, I believe, which is pretty musical. Also, we have an internal high-pass filter side chain for the compressor to ignore lower frequencies, right? And to not react to lower frequencies. And here you're gonna see the gain reduction. This control in the center is the makeup control, just to compensate any volume or gain that you, or perceived volume that you might lose during that compression. Moving on with the compressor for the SSL Fusion, we have also the threshold. Here we select 3 ratios, 2, 4, or 10, different than the Neve. Here we have the attack and release. Here we can select manually the attack from 1 to 20 and release like an SSL compressor, right? Fast release time and auto release time as well. The auto release time is pretty cool, and we have also a side chain here to ignore lower frequencies during that compression. So I'm gonna choose a fast release time. By the way, the attack, it's fixed on the Neve. Okay, we're compressing. Okay. High ratio. Before. Also more subtle. Let's check out the compressor on the SSL Fusion. Right, let's choose a slowest attack time or release time. Okay, Neve. This one, it's a bit more prominent also than the Neve, as all of the other sections in this plugin, right? Finally, let's move on with the stereo imager. This is the width control, that will spread the audio in the stereo field. And also we have a high pass filter here in case that we want to ignore lower frequencies to be stereoized, which is very common, very useful to leave the low end in mono, right in the center. So this is like internal sidechain as well. And here on the SSL Fusion style stereo imager, we also have width, minimum and maximum. Here we don't have an internal filter. This is for space, right? So let's analyze and check out these two processors. Okay, more stereo. Let's leave, for instance, 100 Hertz and below. The SSL Fusion style. Before. It increases a bit the overall gain, so I would advise to lower a bit the output. Finally, we have an output control here that we can use to compensate the overall perceived loudness and volume. You're gonna find some useful presets on this plugin as well. Also a pretty cool thing that you can change the signal chain's direction here. You can change the order of the signal chain, meaning like you can, for instance, start with the dynamics section, right? The compression, meaning, and then the EQ, and finally the saturator. Also, you can switch this to the right or to the left. I like to start my mixes with EQ, then dynamics, meaning compressor, and after compressors, the saturator. So this is my way to go. Also, you have oversampling here up to 16x, undo and redo. You have A/B functionality as well to compare a couple of settings, and also you can resize the plugin window. For drums, I used some saturation from the SSL Fusion, right? Increasing the drive and the intensity here. I also added a bit of top end and also some compression. On these particular drums, I enjoyed more the SSL Fusion because it has a bit more impact and a bit more smack to the drums. Let's check out a before and after. So the plugin is on, off. Nice. Also, let's check it out, the kick drum here. Let's add some saturation on the highs. Let's use the high frequency saturation from the Neve. Cool. Let's add some top end here. Okay, let's use the Neve for the moment. Also, I think I can remove some lower mids. Let's introduce some compression. Here we are gonna use less aggressive compression with the Neve as well. So fast attack time. Nice. We're not gonna introduce stereo imaging before. Okay, cleaner with much more impact. Let's also use it on snare here. Let's remove some low end, since we have a lot of the kick drum here. Okay, let's add also some saturation here. Let's try with the SSL Fusion. Okay, let's add some highs here. Let's add some compression as well from the SSL Fusion. Okay, so slow attack time, fastest release time. The auto release time is great. Let's also check out the bass guitar here. Let's add some saturation. Let's add a high pass filter around 40 Hz or 50. I really like the top end saturator from the Neve. Let's add some top end here, around 6. Let's clean up the bass as well. Some lower frequencies, low mids. Let's add some aggressive compression with a fast attack time here. Let's do auto release. Makeup. Before. Let's move on with distorted guitars. Let's use a high pass filter. Around 100 Hz. Let's add some saturation. This one has more meat, so I want to add some highs and saturation. Okay. Some equalization here. I like the highs here. Around 9. Let's add some mild compression here. Before, after, thinner with more presence on the highs due to the saturation. Let's also use it on acoustic guitars. Let's remove some low end rumble. Nice. Thinner guitars work better in the context of the full mix. Let's add some saturation. Super beautiful saturation with the Neve. The other one is more aggressive, although it's great also for some situations. I think I don't need EQ, some compression also. Let's add something here. Acoustic guitars can be very dynamic, but in this case it's not super dynamic. After, let's also use it on this keyboard. Let's clean some low end. Let's add some highs as well. Let's remove some low end here. Around 136, 150. It doesn't need a lot of compression, it's pretty consistent. Some mild compression here. Let's try the stereo imaging here. Let's also use the high pass to ignore low frequencies. Before. Let's check out vocals.
Stinging from the
Let's use a high pass.
touch. Will she ever break free or just surrender?
Okay, let's add some saturation.
It never takes long till they leave her. Stinging from the loneliest touch. Will she ever break free or just surrender it? Well, it never takes long till they leave her.
I think we
Well, it
don't need
never
EQ.
takes long till they leave her.
Let's use some
It never
compression.
takes long till they leave her. Stinging from the loneliest.
If we use the SSL
Well,
fusion,
it never takes long till they leave her. Stinging from the loneliest touch. Will she ever break free or just surrender?
and since I have a couple of vocals to the left and right, like doubles, I don't think we need stereo
Well,
imaging.
it never takes long till they leave her.
Before.
Stinging from the loneliest touch.
The compression also glue very cool all of the vocal tracks, right? Since I am using it on the bus. All of these moves that I did, let's do a before and after, right?
Well, it never takes long till they leave her. Stinging from the loneliest touch. Will she ever break free or just surrender again? You know, it happens too much.
Please let me know what you think of this plugin by Kiive Audio, the Nfuse, that's emulating a couple of legendary channel strips, that Neve and SSL fusion. I think it's very interesting, the workflow and also of course the sounds, and have these like super high-end pieces of gear into one single plugin with this simple workflow. I love it. And also the sound is great. Don't forget that there is a fully featured free trial at your disposal. The link is gonna be provided in the video description and first comment. Also, you will find an introductory price for this plugin. Before we leave, let me invite you one last time to my website, amnorhunted.com, where you can grab some freebies such as some free PDF guides and ebooks for music producers and guitar players. Also some free tools such as some collections of guitar impulses, some collections of drum sample packs, among other utilities. And finally, don't forget to check out this channel or my blog, which I am updating almost every day with tons of content like this. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye bye.